We are back with a brand new updated 2022 version of the Titan Guide. After all the nerfs and buffs, we're going to try and help you figure out which Titans are still good, which ones are worth upgrading, and which ones fit your playstyle. Now, to keep this video from being about 4 hours long, I'm going to try and do it as briefly and as quickly as possible, so we're not going to go into huge detail. I will start making some build videos for some of these Titans as well, but this one is just kind of a Titan buyer's guide, I would guess you would say, to give you a good idea of which one might be for you, the different play styles, and let you know which Titans are actually good and which ones are not. If you want more awesome War Robots content, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so let's get to the review on the first Titan, and for each Titan I will make a chapter, that way you can easily find the section for each Titan, and then you can just kind of skip to the part that you want to watch. Alright, here we go, let's get to it. There's been a lot of changes, nerfs and buffs, and new Titans are added to the game and all kinds of good stuff. So we're going to help you decide what Titan is best for you. So we're going to start off with Kid, which is basically the starter Titan. Personally, I don't like this Titan. There's a lot of disadvantages to it. It does have a few advantages, but it's not really that good, okay? It's got a great ability, it's got a lot of hit points, and it moves pretty quick for a Titan, but it's just kind of the underdog out of all the Titans in the game. I don't really recommend this one. It's great to start off with. You'll probably get this Titan for free, and it's okay, but I really would not dump too many resources into this. The main issue I have with this Titan are the weapons are not always available. It's got two weapons down on the bottom that are always available, but the main weapon up top, you have to go into your ability for that to come out, and then it goes away and you can't use it anymore. And it's kind of, it's not that good. Don't upgrade this one. Next, we have the Arthur, which is a great starter Titan. It's got a very strong shield, but problem with the Arthur is there's so many weapons that can bypass the shield. There's flamethrowers, there's toxic weapons, there's any type of rocket with splash damage. Those will all shoot him through his shield. Yes, he's got a crazy strong shield, but there's so many things that can damage him through it, and he's only got about 400,000 hit points on his body. He just dies a little too fast. So Arthur is not the greatest Titan anymore. It's got some major advantages as far as there's certain weapons that the shield can block, but there's a lot that it can't, and that's the problem there. If it wasn't for that, I would say this Titan would still be amazing, but there's just too many things that can kill him through his shield. At one time, his body was a lot stronger, but they nerfed it. They gave him a lot less hit points, but they buffed his shield and gave the shield more hit points. But when everything's killing you through the shield, I don't think you should go for this one, guys. There was a long period of time where I thought Arthur was the best Titan in the game, but once they nerfed the body and he started dying easily, it just changed him. Not a great Titan anymore. Good for a starter person in the lower leagues, but not great in the higher leagues. Now let's check out the Ming. This is one of the original Titans, and I used to give this really bad reviews, but with the right weapons put on top of this, it can be very good. Now it's squishy, it dies very easy, but it's got a lot of firepower. And if you play it carefully, especially if your team has like a healer that's running with you to help you heal up, this can be a great aerial assault destroyer. Especially if you can get a good set of weapons with a 600-meter range. It's hard for people to get close enough to kill you without you being able to just bash them up and smash them up from a distance while they're trying to get to you. So, I don't know, guys. I think Ming is not really what I would say a great Titan, but he's almost a great Titan. If it wasn't so squishy and had a few more hit points, this thing would be amazing. That's really the only downfall, is that it does die easy, so you gotta play it very carefully. It's kind of like a skill bot, okay? Takes a lot of skill to keep this thing alive and do good with it, but if you can get the hang of this, I mean, it can go up in the air, it can fly, and it can just womp on people from across the map. So it's a very good robot with the right weapon setup. I like it. I mean, I like it. I never thought I would say this again. I used to not recommend this, but things have changed. New weapons have come out that have making this guy really good. So the Lantern and Dazzler type of weapons and the Panzer Girl and Gargantua type of weapons on here are excellent. Most weapons, no, I wouldn't run it with most weapons, but with those two sets of weapons, I like this guy. If I had some of the other sets of weapons, I wouldn't consider getting this, but if I had either one of those, I would run a Ming. I think he can be very good, if played correctly. So this one is worth upgrading, this one is worth buying, but it's not going to be for everybody, and there are better Titans out there. The next Titan we're going to talk about is the Sharanga. Now, Sharanga is very squishy. It dies very easy, but the firepower is phenomenal. If you can put the right set of weapons on this and hang out in the back, it will obliterate everything from a distance, but if anybody gets close to you, you're going to start having a lot of trouble. It's best to play this guy with a teammate. You can find a teammate that's a healer, like if somebody's playing a nodens or a mender or something that can stick around and heal you, this can be amazing at that point. It's a little bit hard to play if you don't have a healer running around, but my gosh, this guy is very good. Now, there are a few disadvantages, like he's taller than most of the Titans, so it's hard to hide behind stuff. There's almost always part of you sticking up over top of buildings or something like that, so enemies can shoot you easily, and you're going to have a hard time hiding and getting back to cover. And like I said, he dies very, very easily, but he's just a damage dealing beast. I think most people don't play this robot. Most people don't like this robot. I think it's worth getting and it's worth upgrading, but it would not be my first choice for a Titan. It just dies too easy. It's very hard to keep alive, and it takes a lot of skill to play this guy. So in my opinion, this Titan is for a very skilled player that wants nothing but pure damage and doesn't mind having a squishy Titan that's hard to play. He does have one ability that people misuse constantly, okay? It'll turn somebody red and pretty much put them into like a phase shift, and your teammate's over there ready to kill this thing, and all of a sudden some dummy hits the ability, turns that robot red, and then your teammate that's shooting at them, and he's like got this much health left, and that robot turns red. Your teammate can't shoot it anymore. Your teammate runs out of ammo. The guy turns, back to normal again, and all of a sudden he kills your teammate because you screwed up. This ability is misused by almost everybody. They use it at the worst time possible and they screw up their teammates. So that is a giant disadvantage with this robot, is the ability is constantly misused. If you're going to play this thing, you need to learn when to time that ability, or you're going to ruin your team. So if you don't mind playing a hard to play squishy robot that does unbelievable amounts of damage, this might be for you. But it's definitely not one of my favorite or recommended setups to get, okay? Now we are going to talk about nodens. Nodens is a healer, and this can be a gigantic help to your team. He recently got buffed and he's very strong now, but he can sit there and he can pretty much heal everybody on the battlefield from a very, very long distance. This Titan is not really designed to fight with. You can fight with it if you have to, but really you're going to stay in the back, stay behind cover, and just focus on healing your teammates with this thing. And trust me, if you enjoy healing, if you want to be a medic, if you want to be a support bot, nodens is amazing, especially now that they gave him a buff and he has more hit points. His first ability heals your teammates, and I think there's like an 800 meter range, so you can heal people way across the map. Now the second ability is very nice. You can hit somebody from way across the map and kind of suppress them to make it harder for them to damage your teammates. So you can heal your teammates and suppress the person they're fighting, which is a giant help to your teammates. So if you're into playing support, nodens is amazing. I would definitely recommend this bot to anybody who's willing to hang in the back and help your teammates and not worry too much about getting into the fight. And the cool thing is, all the healing turns into damage at the end of the battle. So if you're worried, oh, well, if I do that, I'm not going to get any damage. Well, yes, you will, because let's just say you do like 6 million worth of healing. That's going to turn into 6 million damage on the end screen of the battle. So yeah, that's awesome. Love this guy. Definitely recommend him for a support bot. Next, we are going to talk about the Minos, which is a very cool Titan that most people just love playing. It's a lot of fun. It's one of the most fun out of all the Titans out there, but it is very hard to play. This is one of those robots where you have to be skilled with it. You have to be very good with it because it can die super easy if you don't play it correctly. The first ability charges at people, so he runs across the map when he's got the ability going, and it lasts for a few seconds, and basically has these little explosions that go out, boom, 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 and they pretty much damage and knock anybody back that they hit while you're running across the map, and that's very, very helpful. And then the second ability is a shield that makes so you take a lot of less damage and reflect a bunch of damage back to the enemies, which can be really helpful. So you got to learn when to time these abilities correctly. If you don't time the abilities correctly, you're going to get yourself into a very bad situation. When you don't have your shield, this thing dies very easy and they will take it out quick. So you got to get in, use the shield at just the right time, and then get out and make sure you either get your kill so you don't have to leave, or get the heck out of there before they kill you when your shield goes down. So it's a very hard Titan to play, but it's a very good brawling, very good rewarding Titan if you can get the hang of it. Most people who are good with this thing just love playing it. I love playing it. I'm not super great with it, but when I have a good run with this thing, I have a good run with this thing, and it just tears the enemies to pieces. I have a couple friends that play this every day, and they are phenomenal with it. They know what they're doing. They just beat the enemy to a pulp with this thing. So any good skilled player who takes the time to learn how to play this can just dominate the battlefield with it. I definitely recommend getting this one and upgrading it, but I do call it a hit and run Titan. You're going to want to run in, do your damage, and then get out. That's how I play it, okay? That's how it's best played. Now, if you run in and you obliterate the enemy, you don't have to run out. But I always try to save one ability charge. That way, if I run in and I can't accomplish my goal and my shield's going to die, then I can run away and get out of there as quickly as possible so they don't kill me. So you always want to have some sort of escape plan with this, just in case your attack doesn't go the way you hope it goes. But like I said, in a skilled player's hands, this thing is phenomenal. Next, we have the murometz, and murometz is a very cool Titan. He just took a big hit. They nerfed him. He's nowhere near as good as he used to be. He doesn't stay in the air as long, and he no longer has stealth when he's landing. But if you're a skilled player with this thing, you're still going to be able to beat the enemy up. I think it's a very good Titan. It's not really one of the best Titans anymore. This was probably the most scary Titan on the battlefield, and it's still very scary, but it's not as good as it used to be. Now, I would still play the heck out of this Titan, but you do have to play it a lot more carefully than you used to. So ability 1 is he goes up in the air and he fires rockets at people, and now he only stays in the air for about 6 seconds instead of 8. And I know that 2 seconds doesn't sound like much, but it's a pretty significant difference. And now when he lands, he used to have stealth on the way down. So when he goes up in the air, he goes into stealth. And now when he starts to land, the stealth ends, so people can actually shoot him on the way down, which is a big disadvantage compared to before. You know, he would land and he would still have stealth for a couple seconds after he touched the ground. Well, it's a lot harder to play this guy now, only because of that one thing I just mentioned right there. If it wasn't for that, I would still say go out, get this thing. It is a beast, but you got to be really careful with it now to keep it alive, because it's very squishy when it doesn't have the stealth. I still think this is a great assassin. Basically, the way you want to play this is you want to hide behind a building somewhere, get within range of whatever you want to kill, go up in the air, beat it up from above, and then get back down behind cover where you can hide again and not take any damage. This robot is great for taking out other Titans and is great for taking out tanks. It's got a very strong, powerful ability. It's got great firepower. It just does a really good job. I do recommend getting this one, but just be mind you, I don't know. Just remember, it's not easy to play. It dies very easy, but you can beat the heck out of everybody with it if played correctly. The second ability is basically an EMP, so you hit the enemies with it. I like to use this first. If I'm about to attack somebody, I hit them with the first ability, it EMPs them so they can't use their ability, and then you go up in the air and you pummel them, and they can't go into like their phase shift, or they can't go into stealth, or they can't do something to get away from it because you disabled their ability for a few seconds. So it's a very deadly Titan, very good Titan. I really love it. I enjoy playing it. It's a lot of fun. It's a very brutal, deadly, damage-dealing beast, but like I said, not easy to play. This is one of those deals where I think if you get this, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. It used to be the majority of people loved playing it, but after the nerfs, it's going to be hit and miss whether or not you like this one. Next, we have the Heimdall, which is my favorite Titan to play. For some weird reason, I find this to be unbelievably fun. Now, not everybody likes this. I don't think this is a good up close and personal brawling robot. I think this robot's great for staying back and damaging people from a distance. It's really designed to be like a attack support, and that's the way I like to play it. It's got a physical shield, which I don't even think the description doesn't tell you that, but this robot does have a physical shield, and he goes in and out of a healing mode and an attack mode. So when you go into the attack mode, you get a physical shield, you get a built-in weapon that constantly fires, and then you get another weapon that shoots a little rocket that will suppress people. I mean, it's got a lot going on for damage from a distance. Now, when you go into healing mode, when you activate the healing ability, you move really fast, which is awesome. He's kind of fast in general, but you can move even faster when you start healing, and you can actually heal all the teammates around you if they're close to you. Now, you gotta be really close, okay? But anything that's right next to you, you can heal it. Now, a lot of people don't seem to like this, and I've never really understood it, because if you learn to play this, it is a very rewarding, very good Titan. It just got a buff, so it's actually better now. And I'm telling you, it was good before the buff, and now I think it's even better. I love this Titan. I think anybody should get this, but just remember, it's very confusing. It's not easy to play this, okay? A lot of people don't understand how it works. The description doesn't even tell you most of the information you need to know about this Titan, which is crazy. So I think the place where most people get confused is on the ability. You have two abilities. One of the abilities actually changes the modes. So when you hit the one button, it will change you from healing mode to attack mode. And then the other button will activate the ability. So when you're in attack mode, you hit button number 2, we'll just say. So when you're in attack mode, if you hit button number 2, it fires the little rocket. When you're in a healing mode, if you hit button number 2, it activates the healing and your extra speed. So a lot of people get confused. They hit that one button and nothing's happening. Well, that button changes you from healing to attack mode, and the other button activates the ability for whatever mode you're currently in. That gets very confusing for people, but once you get the hang of it, this thing is amazing. It's a very big help to your team. It's not the greatest healer, okay? It's not really super good at healing, but it's a great mid-range fighter in my opinion. It's great for shooting robots out of the air. If you can get some 500 meter or 600 meter weapons to put on this, it'll just take all the aerial robots out. It's just a really good Titan, guys. I like it. I recommend it, but mind you, not everybody loves this one for some reason. I think a lot of people don't understand it and can't figure out how to play it, and the description doesn't help you learn how to play it or figure it out at all, but I think this thing is awesome personally. Should you get this one? I say yes, you should definitely get this one, but mind you, not everybody likes it. I can't guarantee that you're going to like this one, but I think most people who take the time to learn it and figure it out will. Next, we have the Luchador, and Luchador just got hit with a nerf. He's really good. He's still one of the best brawling Titans of the game. This guy is basically made for brawling, okay? His abilities, he can jump. All right, his first ability jumps across the map. He can cover ground and get across the map quickly, which is amazing. He's got a lot of hit points. His second ability is a reflector shield that goes up and protects you, and it makes this guy really hard to kill. On a one-on-one versus situation, this guy still dominates. I think he works best with shotgun type of weapons, but if you want a Titan that's just designed to be a flat-out brawler, up-in-your-face fighter, this is the one for you. It's pretty good for grabbing and holding beacons. It's just good for jumping into a group of enemies and trying to beat them up. Now, of course, it will die fast. Let's just say it's like you versus 4 other Titans. Yeah, they're going to take you out really quick. But on a 1 versus 2 or a 1 versus 1 situation, or sometimes even 1 versus 3, you can beat 2 or 3 robots up pretty easily with this if you play it right. Any Titan in the game does take some skill to really master and do well with. So I don't care how good it is, if you don't play it well, it's going to die really fast and you're not going to do really well with it. And there's always going to be situations where that Titan's just going to get its butt kicked or it's not going to work well. So You gotta learn to play your Titans correctly. But this is a very, very good Titan for brawling. So if you're just interested in flat out, up in your face, 50 meters away, close range combat, this is the Titan you probably want to get. And finally, we have the brand new Titan called Indra, and I think this Titan is very hard to play, but this Titan is excellent. It goes into a phase shift ability where it can go across the map a couple of times, and you can't hit it. So it's very good for sneaking up on people and beating them up, but you gotta learn to time the abilities properly. If you do not time the abilities properly, this thing will just die and get obliterated like it's nothing. I think this is a very hard Titan to play, but it's very rewarding once you get the hang of it. Now, this does require the right setup and the right weapons. I mean, you can put some 600 meter or 500 meter longer range weapons on it and you can do pretty good, but this is really designed to be a brawler. You know, 1 versus 1, if you time the abilities correctly, this will beat everybody up. So it's got the first ability where it goes into a phase shift like thing where none of the enemies can hit it until it comes out of the phase shift. But then it's got ability number 2, which is the lasso. So basically you shoot out a lasso, it grabs onto an enemy, and when that thing is attached to the enemy, it makes that enemy slower. And every time you shoot at it and stuff, that lasso actually brings life back to you. So it kind of like steals their life in a way. So the lasso heals you, it slows the enemy down, which is a really big help. And the longer the lasso is around the enemy, the more it damages the enemy. So it's a really cool Titan with some really cool abilities, but it is not easy to play, guys. Now, I know a lot of people get this and they hate it at first, but after they take the time to play it for a few days, they really start learning when to use the abilities, when to time this, when to time that. They start doing better with it, and then they start saying, man, this thing is a beast. So a lot of these Titans, I don't care which one of these Titans you get, you gotta really learn to play them. You gotta take the time to learn to play it, because you can't just grab a Titan and go out on the battlefield and expect to do good. You gotta know when to use the abilities, when to fight, when to hide, when to go in, when to retreat. It's a game that you gotta be a very skilled player to do well with any of these Titans. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more awesome War Robots content. If you don't want to miss any of these uploads, hit that little bell and set those notifications to all. If you don't do that, YouTube probably won't notify you when I make new videos, and then you're going to miss all the build videos and the giveaways and the announcement of the giveaway winners and all kinds of awesome stuff. So definitely set the bell to all, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for awesome War Robots content. You can find a link to my Discord server in this video's description and some of my other YouTube channels and a lot of other interesting information that you might want to check out. So definitely drop down the video's description and take a look at all that stuff. Hopefully you found this guide helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are all amazing. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to watch my videos and hang out with me on the live streams and all that good stuff. You guys are all awesome. And don't forget to check out one of these videos or several of these videos that are about to pop up on the end screen. Thanks, guys. See ya. You are all super amazing, and don't you forget it.